The data from 2024 national census shows that Uganda has a predominantly young population, with over 73% of its approximately 46 million people aged under 30 years. Adolescents aged 15 to 19 alone account for 12% of the total population, while youth aged 18 to 30 represent nearly a quarter. According to the Young People Fact Sheet by UNFPA 2014, 78% of young people aged 13 to 18 years are currently attending school. About 10% of those between the age of 6 to 12 years have never been to school. A further 22% of adolescents aged 13 to 18 years have dropped out of school. Further still, 8.8 million young people aged 15 to 24 are not engaged in education, employment, or under any training. We took time to look at how presidential candidates look at the needs of the youth. The manifestos assessed include those of the ruling National Resistance Movement, the National Unity Platform, the Forum for Democratic Change, and the Alliance for National Transformation parties. The largest opposition party in parliament, led by Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi, projects itself as the most youthful entity in the country. According to their manifesto, the party is planning to create 10 million jobs by 2032 through leveraging tourism, manufacturing, sports, and the creative arts. Structure return missions for Ugandan experts abroad to teach, mentor, and collaborate with institutions back home. Build a virtual academy to deliver online civic education, entrepreneurship training, and policy innovation. Provide startup capital and technical support to youth and women-led businesses in renewable energy, organic agriculture, and waste recycling. Establish school feeding programs to limit school dropout and increase access to learning. The ruling NRM makes no special distinction between the youth and the rest of the country. Instead, its manifesto focuses on job creation through growing the economy and strategic infrastructure development. The expectation is that the successes in these areas will somehow trickle down to the youth. In his manifesto, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is pledging to growing the economy through infrastructure development, including roads, electricity, schools, hospitals, to guarantee lower costs of living and doing business. Continue to back learning in schools by providing free schooling as well as job skilling programs to enable the youth set up their own enterprises and end unemployment. Support low-income growth through empowering the lowly at the parish level, that is, parish development model and youth empowerment programs. Support local businesses by boosting regional integration and political federation, including prosperity, security, and fraternity of the African people. The Forum for Democratic Change, led by Nathan Nandala Mafabi, says his party is offering a more direct incentive through a youth grant scheme of 1 million shillings for empowerment, alongside investment in agriculture and ICT. They are looking at consistent funding and administrative mechanism for this specific grant by generating employment opportunities through modernizing agricultural investment to make it attractive to youth. Establish a 1 million shilling graduate starter grant for all unemployed graduates under 30 years to kickstart their work life. Human capital development, healthcare funding, health insurance, that is 20,000 shillings per family. Set up a program for youth innovation and incubation hubs across the country for each of the 4 regions in Uganda. Mandate a percentage of all government contracts to youth-owned enterprises. Establish a sports and creative arts academy in every sub-region to identify, nurture, and recognize talents. The Alliance for National Transformation Party is aiming for socio-economic transformation starting at the family level, with a focus on scholarships up to 10,000 at university level and production in agriculture and creative arts. While education is key, the party is hoping to use this to link to other activities that they hope the youth will be attracted to. Party leader Major General Mugisha Muntu is pledging to ensure that people born in ghetto conditions are saved from the conditions that make them underprivileged, provide comprehensive skills support to the youth to guarantee effective livelihoods on a sustainable basis, strengthen the existing education infrastructure in terms of classrooms, teacher remuneration, and in-service training, invest in sports talent identification, training and development for youth in and out of school, resolve underlying causes behind school dropout, such as the high cost of tuition, inadequate jobs, as well as negative social and cultural factors. So, we turn to some of the people who regularly deal with the youth and ask if these are aspirational rather than fully costed and measurable goals, which is a common challenge in political campaigning.
NRM has tried to, address some of the issues that have been, recurring. And on that note, I want to be specific, especially on the change to the new curriculum. I think this was something that took a lot of time to implement.
NOP speaks a lot into creation of jobs, promising that when they come into power, there will be a lot of job opportunities. How specifically, again, probably from listening to the NOP president, would be very key to hear and ask him how exactly, because the government has also in the past promised, the NRM has also in the past promised these same many jobs.
FDC and ANT is where we see that they go a little bit to speak about the level of internet penetration, but also the cost of internet, because that has a lot to do with the facilitation of digitalization. If the cost of internet is high, especially data, if it is high, if young people cannot have access to digital gadgets and equipments, then it will definitely become hard.
Addressing the concerns of the girl child and female youth should be a priority across all parties in alignment with the demands presented within different societies.
We are having one of the highest percentages of school dropouts due to teenage pregnancies.
We all remember what the promise was when it came to sanitary towels. Let me give that example, which seemed like the easiest thing, making sure that sanitary towels, and it became the hit in the last election period. If you remember, the party that promised that they'll ensure that all girls get sanitary towels. And then the whole 5 years, it has not been a reality.
In one of the schools in Abim, I realized that a teacher told me that a girl has to sit on a stone because they're in their messes. She has to sit on the stone all day in class, because we are in a digital era, we are in an era of AI. So you would want to see how the manifestos are speaking to how they are going to invest in digitalization for the benefit of youth education and youth skilling.
You can see how much the youth are earning from, let's say, online platforms, TikTok. They are earning. And for me, when a manifesto reads something that goes into creativity, I think for me it is a yes.
If a child is stunted when they're young, by the time they become a youth, they'll still be stunted and they'll still have lost. So if the investment is not made in the child and clearly specific, as clear as FDC is saying, we are going to make sure the classrooms are enough and reduce the number of children in the classroom, so that there is quality education.
While manifestos touch upon critical areas by prioritizing comprehensive policy solutions for youth mental health, digital skills for the so-called gig economy, and climate-resilient economic opportunities for youth in rural areas. These are major evolving concerns that go beyond traditional employment and require systemic thinking. The ultimate test of whether these issues will find traction with the youth will be seen in the increased participation in this election in relation to a particular party, especially over its commitment to transparency in financing and measuring these ambitious pledges. Beata Muema, NTV.